been a while since we recorded one of these segments of the Pirates show, since I was down in spring training and then, of course, on to Detroit for the start of the season. But hey, it's time to talk some baseball, and I'm Lance Lysowski, joined by Matt Grubba. But before we get to that, I want to give a thank you to one of our sponsors, StepOutside.org. If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out StepOutside.org. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, or hunting, or take part in power sports, shooting sports, or water sports in your local community or across the country at StepOutside.org, where everything you need to know is just a click away. Now, Matt, early on in the season, of course, pretty strong start for the city's baseball franchise, and of course, after spending all that time in Florida, for me, it's kind of, I'm thankful for the fact that I can actually write and actually get to see what matters and what doesn't.
Yeah, it's always easier to write about what has happened rather than try to predict the future. And spring training, I don't know, from the outsider perspective, seems to get longer every year. You started out, early, mid-February?
Yes, it was, it was before Valentine's Day, so February 12th, I think Matt Sunday and I got down there, and I got back on March 28th. There was a stretch there in between. I wasn't there about a week and a half or so, but yeah, for the most part, and it's just good to finally have games. I know you're experiencing Pittsburgh football right now. It's some of the same thing, and people are asking you questions. How does so-and-so look? How good are they going to be this year? And it's like, you can only gain so much from this experience. And now, that brings me to the fact that, let's talk about first impressions. What can people actually talk about? And right off the bat, I'm thinking Gregory Polanco is the one thing that stood out to me the most. You heard coming into the spring about how healthy he is, how his offseason workout regimen is going to make him more athletic, keep him on the field, most important, after he missed so much time last season, and it's translated to the plate. The swing's back. I mean, it was still long last year, but his bat speed was down. The bat speed has just looked really good so far, leading the team in RBIs, of course. The plate discipline, though, is the one thing. I mean, he walked 3 times, non-intentional against the Twins on Monday, and then he walks another time intentionally. And it's just that's one part of his game, free swinger. But if he can get on base that way, Matt, that's going to be big for this team.
Yeah, and you love to see already, too, he's coming up with clutch hits. That is something that, you need a guy like him, with McCutchen gone, who's going to be the new face of the franchise? He's a guy that is in position that can really be a leader on the team. However, with Polanco, there's always the history of, mental lapses, things like that. And we've seen that already a little bit this season, too. So
much potential, and everybody's kind of waited to see him kind of fulfill that ever since he came up. And as Clint Hurdle put it, looked like he invented the game for 2 weeks. And you're seeing signs of him being back. And Clint Hurdle's showing that he put trust in him. I mean, he hit Polanco second in the order against the Twins Monday for the home opener. That's a huge spot for the Pirates. That's going to be 2 and 4 are going to be – that's your sign. Okay, who does Clint Hurdle trust the most going into a game? Those are the 2 big run producer roles. So after hearing so much about Polanco, if he can produce – closer to what he did in 2016 rather than 2017, that's going to be so important for this team.
Yeah, I hope he can continue this early start. I mean, that's the one thing. I don't know how long this will last. I mean, such a great start to the season for him. It's 162 games. Let's see how things are going by the end of April, start of May.
Miller Lite is the original light beer, and we'll always brew it to have more taste, with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Because we believe that if you compromise on taste, you can taste the compromise. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis, 12 fluid ounces. Less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out this cool new website, stepoutside.org. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, or hunting. Or take part in power sports, shooting sports, or water sports in your local community or across the country at stepoutside.org, where everything you need to know is just a click away. That's stepoutside.org.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues. With the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit schneiderdowns.com.
Injured in an accident? Need assistance in preserving your business's interests? Let the attorneys at Bassey, Vreeland & Associates protect your legal rights. For over 65 years, Bassey, Vreeland & Associates has been representing the citizens and businesses of southwestern Pennsylvania. With offices strategically located in Washington and Charleroi, Bassey, Vreeland & Associates can deliver results for you throughout the Pittsburgh area. Visit www.bmvlaw.com or call 724-228-7000 to see how Bassey, Vreeland & Associates can meet your legal needs. Bassey, Vreeland & Associates. We fight, we care, we win.
All right, welcome back to the Pirates Show, here with Lance Lysowski, our Pirates writer. I'm Matt Grubba, and we're going to keep talking about, what's been a good start to the Pirates season, really a great start for what some of the expectations were, but one place that hasn't been so great, the bullpen, and we saw from opening day making the Pirates sweat out that long extra inning game.
5 hours and 27 minutes. I know it off the top of my head, man.
I'm sure you had to type that more than once, but what are the concerns going forward with how this bullpen's going to hold up over 162 games?
It's funny, entering the season, even after that season opener, everybody was, worried about Felipe Rivero, and the velocity was down a little bit. His delivery was kind of a mess, particularly in the spring. He's the least of their concerns, Matt. And the same with George Kontos in the 8th inning. I mean, if they can get the ball to those two guys, you're in a pretty good spot, because more often than not, Rivero's going to have his stuff that day, and when he's locked on, he's among the best in baseball. But it's the rest of the guys. They just don't have anybody. They don't have that bridge to the back end of the bullpen. And long relief, not only long relief, but middle relief is so important in Major League Baseball, especially when you have a younger rotation. You have Ivan Nova. He's going to get you to the 6th or the 7th inning, but you don't know what Chad Kuhl's going to do any given day of the week. Joe Musgrove's on the DL. Who knows what's going to happen with his spot in the rotation, or if that shoulder is actually a serious concern. And you got Steven Brault and Tyler Glasnow as your two long relievers. They're starting pitchers. They don't have experience pitching out of the bullpen, so there's going to be a growing there's going to be a transition there. There's going to be growing pains probably from those two, even though Steven Brault did incredible in his first outing. They needed to go out and get a proven arm. A bounce-back candidate, maybe. They needed to spend a little bit to get that guy who can get the ball to Kontos in the 8th or get the ball to Rivero in the 9th. Michael Feliz, the guy they acquired from the Astros, he's stunk so far. After having a really good spring, he's relied way too much on his fastball, hasn't shown confidence in throwing the slider, and that, more than anything, is a real concern. I mean, against the Twins on Monday, he walks two guys and he issues a balk. You can't do that when you only have a one-run lead, You can be as good as you want in the rotation, but you need the bullpen. You got Davidis Neverauskas, Edgar Santana, Josh Smoker. These are just guys. I mean, I like Neverauskas' potential. I like Edgar Santana's potential. But if this team really wants to win, they need contributions from that bullpen, not just in the back end. I asked Neil Huntington in Detroit, before that 2-game doubleheader on Sunday, why didn't you go out and get a more proven arm when you knew the rotation was still going to be young and still fairly inexperienced for the most part, and they thought their options internally were better than a potential bounce-back candidate externally? Okay, you don't want to go for a bounce-back candidate. Go and get somebody who's done it before.
Do you have a concern, too, going forward? I mean, Clint Hurdle has a little bit of history of maybe being quick with the hook with the starters, and if he continues that trend, I mean, is that going to tax these arms that already are struggling even further? Exactly.
That's a big thing to keep an eye on. And he's, I don't really fault him for that, especially when you have a younger rotation, when you have a Chad Kuhl, Trevor Williams, and hey, Jameson Taillon still inexperienced for as good as he was in his first start. So you have to almost be kind of quick, but at the same time, Clint, your options in the bullpen aren't that great. So, that pitch count makes you kind of second-guess it. And when you're a National League team, the double switch is in play. You have to be cognizant of, okay, I need to get a pinch hitter in there because you got a really good bench. You're going to want to take advantage of a guy like David Freese or Sean Rodriguez on the bench, but now you might have to think twice before turning to that bullpen.
It's been 50 years since the Summer of Love, but if you're not performing as well as you'd like, check out endedforless.com. I'm Eric Cushy of Curtis Pharmacy. Don't pay premium prices for the little blue pill. So Denafil, the same active ingredient as in Viagra, costs 80% less. endedforless.com. All we need is your physician's name. We do the rest. Free shipping, too. ndforless.com. Curtis Pharmacy, Western PA's Better Way Pharmacy. curtispharmacy.com.
Fast greens, friendly staff, and some of the best wings in Pittsburgh can be found right in the heart of Moon. Moon Golf Club has unique challenges fit for any golfer. And once your round is over, you can be refreshed at the 19th Hole Bar and Grill, offering weekly food specials and daily beer specials. You can even make it a family outing on the weekends when kids play free after 4 p.m. And soon, you'll be able to book your event in their brand new pavilion and patio area. Visit moongolfclub.com to find out more and book your tee time now.
Point Park University can help you earn your degree. Choose from nearly 100 programs leading to bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. Our career-focused programs are taught by faculty who share their real-world experience and practice what they teach. Point Park's downtown Pittsburgh campus gives you the opportunity to work with leading companies and organizations. Choose from on-campus or completely online. You can learn at your pace in the style that works for you. Call 1-800-321-0129 or visit pointpark.edu to learn more.
DKPittsburghSports.com, our city's pioneering independent sports journalism site now being replicated across the continent, is proud to offer one-of-a-kind coverage of our city's professional sports teams. Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, we go wherever they go. We follow their every move. We work to find the inside stories. We even manage to have a little fun on the job, including our live Q&A sessions with readers every day at 5. A subscription starts at just 99 cents for the first month. And if you like what you read, it's just $3.99 a month after that. We've built up 40,000 subscriptions in just 3 years. We've grown to 5 million page views a month. That's because we're Pittsburgh-born, Pittsburgh proud, and with the help of our readership community, we've been able to reach Pittsburghers near and far, wherever they are. DKPittsburghSports.com, coverage that connects.
Welcome back as we keep rolling along with the Pirates show. I'm Matt Grubba alongside Lance Lysowski, our Pirates writer here at DKPittsburghSports.com. Want to also send a shout-out for our sponsor, StepOutside.org, bringing us the Pirates show. And, Lance, we just spent the last segment talking about the bullpen, pitching concerns going forward with the Pirates. Well, you want to talk a little bit about the guy who's going to be fielding all those pitches, handling them, Francisco Cervelli, behind the plate.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, the Pirates' highest paid player at this point. It's hard to believe that. And for as much time as he missed last year, and hey, as ineffective as he really was in 2016, but he looks, again, you come into spring training, these guys show up, they tell you about what they did this offseason. Oh, I changed my diet, I lost this weight, I did this to try to get myself in better shape, and you approach it with skepticism and go, all right, man, we'll wait and see it. Anything can happen. You doing jiu-jitsu or whatever it is. For him, it was capoeira, which is a different form of Brazilian martial arts.
Are Venezuelans allowed to do capoeira?
I think so. Who knows if it's going to work, but he was just on fire in the spring. Jamison Tyon was telling me in the clubhouse one day that the last year and a half that he was with the team, that he never saw Cervelli swing the bat the way he's done so far. And, the numbers haven't been there so far early in the season, but you see better at-bats. You see the bat speed's more improved. He's getting the pitches he wasn't able to get to last year. And more important, the one thing that we still don't talk about, Russell Martin was revered in this city for what he was able to do behind the plate. The pitch framing was so well documented, the impact he had with his pitching staff. Cervelli is just the exact same way, and I think that's one part of his game that was kind of overlooked. With probably the injuries, he wasn't as effective. He even admitted as much. His pitch framing was affected negatively last season. Been great so far, and it was pretty funny. The morning after that crazy 13-inning game, and it seemed like he was in the middle of every part of it. Bob walks up to him outside in the hallway outside the clubhouse at Comerica Park and says, "Francisco, look like you're smiling like a little leaguer out there." And Cervelli smiles and says, "Yeah, it's going to be like that every day." And that's kind of been the way he's been since he showed up. He's having fun. He really wasn't the last year and a half when he wasn't healthy. You see the difference there, and they're going to need him with this young pitching staff, with that bullpen, to navigate them through some of these difficult outings. the mound visit limit that has been instituted this year. You get 6 non-pitching change mound visits. That's when you're going to have to maximize those strips of the mound. And it seems like early on this season, when he goes out there, it makes a difference. Guys rediscover their command. They flip the switch with Michael Feliz against the Twins. He told Michael Feliz, stop throwing your 2-seamer. Let's go 4-seamer slider, and that's what made the difference. And he tries to get his pictures not to be too cute. It's just really impressive. It's the one part of baseball I think that, not being more involved with the game, I didn't realize just the impact a catcher can have.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's really embracing the leadership role. He
loves it.
Doesn't mind. He doesn't mind being the center of attention. He doesn't mind.
That's been the one. Yeah, that's been the one cool thing, Matt, that I've realized so far. With Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole gone, some of these other guys that they are veterans. They were involved in a leadership aspect. They're really enjoying stepping in, into the forefront and really commanding this team. Ivan Nova's the same way. He didn't think it was his place to be that leader. Now he does. Sean Rodriguez is being a leader. David Freese is being a leader. So I think more than anything, for everything that goes on the field, what's going on off the field in the clubhouse to kind of get that winning mentality back that David Freese said that this team lost the last 2 seasons, that's as important as anything that happens.
All right. Well, wow, that's, pretty good insight from inside the clubhouse there. I mean, that's a lot of things people talk about with the Pirates is the need to change the culture. So maybe that's those young guys are doing it.
Maybe it makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. That's one thing. It's early in the season. I think, but at this point, there are certain things that you can, observe, things you can get a hold of that maybe can translate. So that's what's going to be fun. I mean, it's a 162-game season. It feels like we're already 20 games in because of that weekend in Detroit, but it's still early. But I think, first impressions can mean something, as I'm sure Pittsburgh hopes that Colin Moran's first impression actually means something.
Yeah.
But we'll see, Matt. Anything can happen. But that will do it for our latest edition of the Pirate Show. Now that I'm back in Pittsburgh a little bit more regularly than before, we'll try to do these a little bit more often to bring it to you. So, again, thank you to our sponsor, StepOutside.org. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next time.